Well, hello guys, welcome back to another Mater Tater video. And today I'm gonna do what's never been done on YouTube before.
Mater and Tater hit the open road with Smokey in lead and Kitty in tow. Adventure.
I'm gonna show you what I do to winterize our camper. I mean, I know nobody's done this on YouTube. I'm just kidding, man. I know there's a gazillion videos out there on this. But you know, I always said, hey, I'm not gonna do that because there's so many out there already, but yeah, let's just add to the chaos, right? And we got a blustery January day. I think today's January 8th, 9th. What is today? Oh, today's the 8th. We got some storms supposed to hit. It's like 68 degrees out here in January. It's real windy. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but bump, bump, bump. That tree that used to be there is not there no more. We had that tree cut down. I'll show you why. I mean, look at that. That is, yeah, I was really afraid that that thing was gonna fall because it was kind of leaning that way, growing that way. And if you look back at some of our old videos, you can see where there was like a big old hole in it up there. Well, the hole, we found out, went all the way down. But yeah, you can see it was bad. And it is starting to rain, so let's get out of the rain. So we're gonna get started on winterizing this camper. And I know there's two divisions, two what do you want to call it, two houses or whatever it's called, on the best way to winterize your camper. I don't knock anybody for doing it whichever way they want to. It's their camper. Do it how you see fit. As for me, I've done it both ways. I've done it where you blow the lines out, and I've done it using antifreeze. I prefer using antifreeze, and I'll tell you why. So the first time I winterized this, well, the first couple of times really, I blew it out. I just blew the lines out. First time was cool, no big deal. The second time, and I don't remember how I discovered it, but I came in here on a real cold day and I discovered that one of the lines had ice in it. And it was kind of like at the bottom of a droop thing. And what I suspect, now I don't know if, I mean, when I blow these out, I blow it out with like 50 PSI, because I've been told you shouldn't go over that. So I don't know if maybe it just didn't get all blown out, or maybe because it was on this little droop, that water just over time collected down at the bottom of it. I don't know which one it would be. I lean more that over time that water just slowly dripped down into this bottom. And the reason I think that is because when I checked it, the little pipe wasn't broke or nothing, and it wasn't frozen all the way around. So there's just enough water kind of at the bottom of it to freeze. But that kind of like, if there'd been a little bit more water, that might have busted that pipe. So now I just use antifreeze. Yeah, it costs, I don't know, about $4 a gallon. And this camper uses about 4 gallons. And yeah, it's a bigger pain in the butt to do, I feel like, than blowing it out. But, so, with that out of the way, let's get started. Always have to lift up the bed. Our water pump sits right here by the bed, which I hate, but it is what it is. And it sits right down in there. I have a winterization kit in here that I use. I keep it in here. It's just this little hose here. And then all I have to do is just turn this little valve right here so that everything will come through that hose instead of out of the tank. And we should be ready to go. I will show you a little trick that I learned from another YouTuber. Before I got this winterization kit put in, what I would do is I'd disconnect this overflow tube that goes straight into the freshwater tank and just use a funnel, and then I would pour the antifreeze into the freshwater tank and just pump it from there. But now that I have this, I don't have to do that no more. So it does help. So if you don't have a winterization kit on your pump, you might be able to pour it down into your freshwater tank. The only kicker to that is it takes, when you get ready to use it again, you need to flush that tank out. Like, usually takes about 2 times of really getting that. You'll get the pink out, but it'll still be foamy, the water will be, and it'll still kind of have a little bit of odor and a little bit of taste. We never drink the water out of the tank anyway. We always bring our own water. But if you want to use the tank, you can. With that done, what I do next is I come in the bathroom, turn the water on, and see the antifreeze getting pumped out. Starting to turn pink. There we go. Run it till it's pink. Then I do the hot water. Run it till it's pink. Here it comes. There it is. Alright, that sink is done and ready to go. I don't ever pour, some people say pour antifreeze down into your drain for the trap. I don't ever do it because, I mean, you're running this stuff down in there anyway, so. And then for the toilet, I do kind of the same thing. Just flush it and run it till it runs pink. And then you put a little bit in there just to keep that seal moist. And I have seen when this gets real cold, I've never seen this just freeze. It kind of turns into like a, I don't know, kind of like a slushy. Alright, we got a fresh jug there. So let's do the shower. And just run it till it's pink. And there we go. Pink stuff. Pink stuff. Okay. So we're pretty good there now. Usually on the shower, I will pour a little bit into it because, as you can see, the camper's on level. And I want to make sure that we get enough of this stuff down that trap. Go to the back end and we're gonna get wet. Turn some lights on in here. Alright, so here we're gonna do the exact same thing. Cold water runs pink. Make sure it gets nice and pink. And then hot water, the same thing. Okay, we're pretty good. So that has the bathroom and the kitchen done. Now we've got to go do the outside shower and do the low drain. The low point drains, that's it. We might get wet. Now these things here, I'm getting rid of. I hate these things. I want to get a good valve. Every valve I've tried on this thing leaks. Ain't found one yet that won't leak. So that done. Let's look at our bottle. Yep, better swap her out. Now we'll go outside again and finish the outside shower. All right. So basically all I do here is just hook my little hose up to the outside shower, turn it on till it runs pink, and that's pretty much it. And it's raining again, so I'm gonna get inside. Now I have heard some people say you should put water in your freshwater tank and run through that, just to make sure the line's coming from the freshwater tank have got stuff in them. So usually all I do is just take the vent off, and I don't pour it all over the place. I have a funnel that I normally do this with, but I forgot it. And I take what I've got left and I pour it into the freshwater tank. All right, and then I put my little vent hose back on. So I don't know if you can see that copper colored valve. It's pointing, it's parallel to the hose. That means it's going to pull from the tank now. If you put it in parallel with this hose, and that means it's going to pull from this hose here. So let's go run some water. And I think we're good to go. So that's how I do it. I don't know how everybody else does it, but that's how I do it. I mean, this way, I know I've got antifreeze in my outside shower. I've got antifreeze in the hose from the water tank to the pump. And I've got antifreeze to all of our faucets from the pump to the faucets. And there's antifreeze in the traps. So, and there's also antifreeze in the low drain valve hoses. It takes maybe about 45 minutes to an hour to do. Another thing I always do when we're winterizing is I get any liquids that we might have in here out. But I just kind of check everything, make sure there's no liquids anywhere. Just kind of go through and double check everything, make sure the fridge is open. And then another thing I always check for is batteries. Anything with batteries, always make sure there's nothing with batteries in here. Oh, there's the smoke alarm. I do take it out because it's got a battery in it. Just don't want them sitting out here in the cold. I think that's it, guys. And if you liked the video, if it was any help, please consider liking the video and maybe subscribing to our channel. It really does help our channel to grow. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to see you on the next one. And as always, thank you for watching.
Every mile we roam feels right, that's how we feel alive. Chasing sunsets side by side, it's where our dreams survive.